Hi, I'm Mark Jackson, and this is Pastor of the Nerds. Today we're asking the question, are you good enough to get into heaven? Most people who believe in an afterlife, when asked why God should allow them into heaven, would say something to the effect of, well, because I'm a good person, or I do good things, or if he's a good God, he'll recognize that I'm a pretty good person and I should be allowed into heaven. But the question that I would have then is, well, what's the scale? Who are we comparing ourselves to that we know we're a good person? Meaning, if I was going to compare myself to somebody like Mother Teresa, I'm pretty low on the scale compared to her. Now, if I were to compare myself to someone, say, like Hitler, I'm a pretty great person. So, depending on who I'm putting on the other side of that scale, I can look really good or really bad. We as humans have this unique ability to justify our actions or to assume that we're better than most people. We kind of turn a blind eye on our own acts. But in reality, we're really not that great. And we have emotional responses that kind of prove that. When we feel things like shame or guilt, it's kind of our body's way of saying, hey, you made a mistake. You're not really that great of a person all the time. And if we have such a subjective scale, like humans' ability to be good, when we compare ourselves to a Mother Teresa or a Hitler, or maybe just the guy down the street that you know he's doing something wrong and you're better than him, that scale's a little too wishy-washy. What we need is something objective, a moral scale of goodness that doesn't change or fluctuate to compare ourselves to know if we're good or not. I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is we do have that scale. We have something that's objective and tangible, a person who lived a life that we can use as a scale. The bad news for us is that scale is perfection, meaning that to get into heaven on your goodness or your ability to be good means you have to be perfect. So the bad news for us is that none of us are. Believe it or not, no one is perfect. And since our scale of goodness is perfection, and none of us are perfect, then none of us are good enough to get into heaven. Lucky for us, Jesus, who was that scale, who lived that perfect life, made a way for us through him to then get into heaven. So instead of our goodness or our perfection allowing us to get into heaven, it's Jesus' goodness. It's Jesus' perfect life and dying on that cross that allows us, through believing in him, to have heaven. So instead of us earning it through our goodness, Jesus did it for us. This has been Pastor of the Nerds. Have a good one. See you next time.